Go inside. Go inside. No! 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 Ah! Oh! Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, God! Ah! Oh, my God. Oh! Oh!
What's up, everybody? We're back here at the RSL. I'm Tasteless. Joined with me is State. How's it going, man?
Feeling pretty good, Tasteless. Only a couple days left of RSL Season 2 as today we are going to be breezing through the upper bracket finals. Best of 7 PvP Classic versus Zound. One of these guys is going to the grand finals. One of them will fall into the losers bracket to face against the winner of Rainer versus Cure. I couldn't be more excited, Tasteless. It's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, I did for a little bit yesterday decide we were going to do Rainer versus Cure for some reason in my head today before I realized the order of the tournament that I'm running. So we're going to get the first person in the grand finals here once we're done tonight. PvP can be pretty quick, although we did have some long ones recently here in what has been the pretty short year of StarCraft 2 competitively. Either Classic or Zound. I think we all have to agree Classic is probably the favorite here, being the previous RSL champion.
Oh, yeah, he just looks so good. Classic has been the de facto best Protoss in the world. Consensus for, the better part of the year. He has just been on fire. He has really rounded out his game. He's capable of doing anything, but hey, Zound, he's an up-and-comer. He keeps getting stronger. He's had some really good results recently. In PvP, it's a pretty explosive matchup. It can swing one way or the other quite quickly, so really anybody can win. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. So we take a quick look here at the RSL Season 2 schedule. It is September, 19th? What's the date today?
It's the 19th,
It's
man.
Friday, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Only a couple days left, guys. We are rounding out Season 2. Make sure you tune in today, tomorrow, and on Sunday for the finals. 7 p.m. KST start time every day.
Yeah, and we're wrapping up Season 2, but Season 3 is coming. So be ready for that. And then we have finally announced our offline finals here for sometime in December. We don't have the date nailed down yet. We're still negotiating it. We mentioned at the start of the launch of our Patreon and announcing the RSL that we were going to do an offline event, but we basically needed to build out the studio, get through EWC. Everybody that's working here also worked at EWC, and then kind of get back and get Season 2 sorted out. So now we're in the process of getting the offline finals. It's exciting. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a live audience. We're going to have players and casters there. Tickets will be on sale for that coming up here.
Yeah, and of course, we wouldn't be able to do it without the support of our official partner, Archon Studio. They are making the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game. They are the premier miniatures game company for a variety of different titles, so make sure you check them out. I believe that's going on pre-sale later this year. For me, as a collector of StarCraft items, it's a pretty modest collection, but I got my little Carbot plushies and such. I'm excited to get my hands on the StarCraft tabletop miniature games. I'm even seeing the ads on social media, on Instagram, when I'm scrolling.
If my phone wasn't listening to me before, it is now. Every time we plug this, I open up Instagram, I'm like, there it is. It's coming.
It's a little dopamine hit, dude. I love to see it, and people are getting excited about it. It's awesome, and we sincerely appreciate their support.
We also need your support. Consider signing up for our Patreon. We've got various tiers. The more you give, the more you get back, and participation that you get in our tournament. This is, we're really truly in the creator economy, especially with StarCraft 2. We just had a new patch announced, which is really exciting. I'm gonna be dropping a video on my YouTube on that tomorrow. And nobody saw this coming. Very exciting. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is as long as there's a publisher that's going to keep supporting the game, and there's a passionate community, whether it's players playing professionally or casually, people that just love to watch tournaments, people like us that used to play competitively and really cast now, games never have to go away. So we just need to build up enough support to keep this going forward. And so far, it's gone great. We've got our live event planned. A lot of people are signing up, so consider joining.
And of course, if you're a Patreon supporter, you also get 20% discount on all Tasteless TV merch. That includes all the RSL merchandise. It's right there on tastelessthreads.com. You get hoodies, you get mugs, shirts, and pins. If you've been tuning into the RSL, you know everything you got. But if you haven't dropped down to the tastelessthreads.com website, give it a little look-see. There's a lot more than just the RSL gear, too.
I'm very proud of my little merch site.
It's
I think
nice.
we got a lot of fun stuff on there. I was always kind of a graphic tee guy growing up. I wanted the cool, the band tees, the best tees for video games. So.
Edgy Tasteless.
Yeah, I was a little bit of an edgy. I was a little bit of a,
punk rocker.
A little rock and roller, as I'd say. So it was fun to make a little merch site with a bunch of cool stuff on there. Guys, consider going to our YouTube. This is so important for us. We need to keep blowing the YouTube up. It needs subscribers. It needs comments. It needs likes. All that, because we're trying to get this into the YouTube bloodstream. You know, there's actually a lot of great StarCraft content. You've got Loco, you've got Winter, Pig. Everybody's got a bunch of great YouTube content. But this new YouTube we made for the RSL is pretty new. I thought about using the YouTube I had, and I thought, no, I think it's better for the tournament and for the show. We can like track the metrics more exactly. If we just have a dedicated YouTube that's like for this program. So it's still a little bit small. I think it's still below 10K, but if you subscribe, even if you just watch on Twitch exclusively, it really does help us out.
Yeah, leaving a comment, liking, it actually does go a long way towards pushing that video deeper into the algorithm and spreading the word that RSL is happening. Wow, I forgot for a second we're going into a best of 7. That's a lot of maps down there, Tasteless.
It's a lot of squares, State.
It's hard to, so the names are kind of going off the edges on
That's
that
right.
one, dude.
Yeah, Evil Heart's kind of flying. Maganatha, too, actually.
Yeah, look at that.
Looks like Kill Switch could be Ill Switch.
Could be, Tasteless. Could be. Our producer's face palming right now.
Ziggy's a little sick. So that was a little joke for you, Ziggy. We don't have medicine for you, but we do have humor. Do you feel a little bit better? Like,
comedy is healing powers, Ziggy.
you can put your head on the table once we start the game, Ziggy. We're almost there.
All right, fellas. Set number 1, Classic versus Zound in the upper bracket final. Winner of this series is going on into the grand final. Loser is going to fall versus Raynor and Cure.
Yep.
As we have Zound spawning as the blue Protoss in the top right, Classic, the red Protoss in the bottom left. Ultra, a pretty standard map here for map number 1, but one of these maps with a high ground expansion, which is pretty important in PvP. It means that there's a lot more room to go for a rapid expansion, which both players possibly are eyeing right now with this low ground pylon.
Yeah. Right now, the builds are at least mirrored for here. It's going to be... This is a map where, you have a high ground in your main, but that just goes to another plateaued high ground up there. So in PvP especially, a lot of the openers don't involve you making structures inside of your main. You would want to start to barricade the entrance over there and try to do a fast expand play. You still can have cheeses, and you can have fake outs where you don't really go for the expand. I don't feel like we see a lot of those, but it is worth putting out there.
Yeah, although with the current meta, people usually go for the Gateway Scout behind this. And so if there's going to be any kind of tomfoolery with no Nexus getting thrown down, typically you're going to figure this out. And the main reason that you go for this really fast Probe Scout isn't just to spot for something like a cheese. It's actually because if you don't send a Probe Scout cross map, if you can't block the opponent's potential Nexus the way that Zound is right now, you don't have to throw down the core right away. You can just immediately expand. It's very hard to punish on these high ground natural expansion maps. And that's why we have both players kind of mirroring with their probe movement, just making sure, keeping the opponent in check, that they're not being too greedy.
So we have the first Zealot being made here for Classic, and Zound is going to start his. For a second, I was wondering, like, is he going to skip his or anything like that? And we got to wait and see, with the Nexuses starting soon here, what is the tech going to be post-Cybernetics Core?
Yeah, there's a couple different options. Usually if it's a 1-gate expand trying to defend against a 1-base play, we're going to have a Stargate opening, but I say that. I was going to pose the counter-argument for it not being Stargate, and then both players threw down their Stargate, so well, I guess we'll forget about that.
This is pretty similar to last season where we casted ZVZ all day, but the players are doing the exact same thing the whole time. We're just waiting for this for the production tab to change.
Yeah.
Classic is going to try to get his Nexus down first, but a blocking pylon comes down here. It's one of the reasons why.
It's a little bit of a delay right there.
Yeah.
It sounds laughing about it. It's funny because usually when there's a pylon block there, it's like a mind game. If the opponent goes, say it's like a 2-gate build, right? If the opponent builds adepts, they can't kill the pylons. The pylon actually blocks the Nexus. And so it's a little bit unusual that you would drop the pylon block when there's already a Zealot out on the map, but Zound just having a little bit of fun with it, delaying the expansion there of Classic just a touch as this skirmish in the middle of the map going Classic's way thus far. That Zealot actually got a couple of hits onto Zound's Adept. That Adept might be going down, Tasteless.
Yeah, he gets the kill. Zound drops the first Adept. Actually pretty bad for early game here. And with two very different techs coming in here, it's Phoenix. Well, now it's going to be a full-on Phoenix war. It was one Oracle, but now we have the Phoenix coming up here. This Adept for Classic will be picked off, but it does get the Scout onto the Phoenixes.
Yeah, and I wonder how hard these players are going to be committing into the Phoenix play. Where did that Adept shade it back to? Okay, it's in the middle of the map. Zealot does get a connection there on some units in the main, but probably no probe damage coming in, and already a second Stargate here. Classic really leaning into the Phoenix play. Both players also going for a really fast third gas. That signals to me that Zaun is also going to be wanting a second Stargate in just a moment.
Yeah, and once you get locked into Phoenixes, it's pretty hard to actually get out.
Oh, actually missed that. The Oracle got 6 probe kills during all of that. That's huge in a Phoenix mirror.
Yeah, that's actually massive.
I almost feel like Zaun can no longer go Phoenix versus Phoenix here. He will just get out macroed. I think you have to do something different. You have to create some asymmetry.
I think you're right, State. I don't know how you play from behind here. But it's going to be hard to segue into something else, right? He already has enough Phoenixes that it's going to be painful to stop with this unit comp. We have the Oracle from Classic coming in again here into the main.
Oh, you're kidding me. I think maybe it gets 1 probe kill. Yeah, it gets 2 in the main base. Zaun is still going to commit to the second Stargate. Well, it is so hard to win a mirror when you're down this much economically. 10 probes, it might not feel like a lot, but trust me, it's a lot
massive,
this early
man.
in the game.
On 2 base this early?
Yeah. For Zaun, because we did have the Oracle production early on here for Classic, Zaun might have a brief moment where he has more Phoenixes, and if he can park these Phoenixes on top of this Stargate, for instance, he might just be able to snipe, like spawn camp. But Classic, he's already basically evened up. Yeah, he has evened up the Phoenix count. It's 6 versus 6, and so the economic lead here for Classic moving forward, assuming this just continues to go down the path of Phoenix versus Phoenix, where we have techs like Cybernetics Core upgrades coming in, a Fleet Beacon coming in, potentially a third Stargate coming in, it'll be a very hard battle for Zaun to actually win this. There has to be some kind of tactical misplay, I think, from Classic. Zaun needs to make something happen.
Yeah. Now, Zaun's just staying outside. We have the little Phoenix Flower made over here as far as the formation goes. I think Zaun got a little bit of the upper hand there. He hit that, disguised that pretty well. 8 versus 8 right now. It's not bad for Zaun. The problem is that behind all this, development is going to be pushed further forward here with Classic. I mean, just having this worker lead as it is.
Classic setting a probe cross map now. We'll see if he drops some pylons at the potential third base locations here for Zaun. It's a very common tactic in Phoenix versus Phoenix is you really want to invest all of your resources into the pure Phoenix fleet. Actually, look at this, a Guardian Shield as well to mitigate some of the damage. Of course, the Phoenix with 2 attacks, the Guardian Shield extra effective against it, so Zaun is going to retreat. He does not want to fight within the range of that sentry. Still goes for one more battle, but in that skirmish, another Phoenix of Zaun going down.
We've got the third Nexus started here for Classic, and this is what we were alluding to here. Oh my god. That's going to be a GG. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think you can't get more one-dimensional than a PvP where, you both go Phoenix, but an Oracle gets a couple kills.
Yeah, it was 8 kills in total, and I might have even been the same Oracle. I'm not sure if the first Oracle died or if a second one was made, but in any case, yeah, like a Phoenix versus Phoenix mirror is so hard to balance. Like the moment the one player gets a little bit of an edge, the game gets out of reach very quickly. And you can see Zaun kind of trying to fish for some tactical win by creating that Phoenix flower, just stacking all of the Phoenix in the Fog of War in front of Classic space. Like, oh, well, maybe if Classic just moves the Phoenix's cross map, they're going to be all fanned out, and then I'll be able to snipe one, and that's a way to come back into the game. But yeah, unfortunately, it didn't go Zaun's way. Yeah,
are we starting this next game, or are we going to a break? We're going to go into the next game? Okay, just checking here. All right, so we're going to be going into game 2. Classic versus Zaun. I mean, a pretty straightforward loss here. I don't think what happened in that last game is going to be representative of the rest of the series. That's a map where, it makes sense to try to do this Phoenix Arms race because you do get a fast expand, or it's a little bit harder to rush them with anything. So, yeah, I mean, Botanical is a very, very different beast.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the map pool, and I'm thinking about some of the maps that the Patreon supporters have voted in, like Botanical and Kill Switch. If I'm not mistaken, there are high ground natural expansions on both of these, too. So there is more room for these early macro plays. We might have some more Stargate versus Stargate plays. As we move later into the sets, like Tokamak, Maganatha, Ley Lines, then we get the low ground expansions where aggressive options become much more viable here in PvP. So I'm curious how this is going to go specifically on the next 2 maps. The first maps are pivotal in a best-of-7 series.
Okay, Zaun in the top left, Classic in the bottom right, and what is hopefully a little bit more of a close PvP here. Yeah, I mean, when you get those kills, it's so hard to even keep up at Phoenixes, and then there's the looming threat that there really is no answer for, which is that they just have more workers, so they're going to get another Nexus up. They're going to be able to fill their ground army in. It's one of the things in PvP that's so hard to recover from.
Yeah, and we already have a little bit of a divergence in builds here between Classic and Zhao. This is another high ground natural expansion map, but the ramp is considerably wider than it is on Ultra Love. There's even this little destructible debris on the side. And so Zhao is opting to go for the high ground with his wall in, and that indicates to me that he might be going for some kind of one base or aggressive play versus Classic, whereas Classic, with a low ground expansion, especially with that pylon so exposed, I'm wondering if he's just going to double down on going for the expansion again. It worked so well in map number 1.
Yeah, this is going to be where the deviation is pretty big right now. We've got 2 gates over here for Zhao on the high ground in the main, 1 on the low ground here for Classic. Now, obviously, you can threaten that player. When I say low ground, by the way, there is, just like the previous map, there is that same kind of level of elevation where super high ground to middle ground to low ground. But you can create some threats, so I'm not shocked that we're probably going to see a proxy pylon over here from Zhao.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about the gateway scout timing and PvP in map number 1, and how if you don't go for the really early scout, your opponent can just throw down the Nexus before Cybernetics Core. That is exactly what Classic did, and Zhao is confirming that right now. He sees the timing of the Nexus, he sees the timing of the Cybernetics Core. He knows that Classic is playing this greedy play, and he is just going to try and break it, but even with that pylon proxied so far forward, it is not easy to break down this defense. Players have gotten so good at just being ironclad with that high ground expansion in PvP. Usually the Void Ray is going to be the anchor of the defense as Classic throws down the Stargate. The moment that Cybernetics Core is done, even before starting his Stalker. And he's also going to spot the Robo. Most likely this will be a Warp Prism with Stalker play. Here for Zhao, it's kind of like Budget Blink, pushing up that ramp, being able to lift them up into the Warp Prism and drop them back down. Is this going to work, though? A lot of it's going to come down to execution.
Okay, so the battery is going to go down. This will go into a Classic win if he holds, or a Zhao win if he gets through. There really isn't a game where this stretches out. The Stalker's going to spot this, and, you know, it's going to be really scary. You can go right into Warp Prism. I've seen Immortals made here as well, although I think the Warp Prism is a little bit... Okay, it's going to be the Immortals.
Oh, it will be.
To come in here and bust us down. I feel like Warp Prism was maybe a little bit more popular in the games we cast. Nice block!
I wonder if that's also because of the size of the ramp here. I didn't consider that here on Botanical.
Well, the pylon kind of juts forward a little bit, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Classic really getting a lot of value out of these 2 Stalkers. Youns is so low. The low HP Stalker here for Classic has been able to regenerate its shields thanks to that shield battery back at home, and Classic is buying a lot of time. He's throwing down 2 more shield batteries, actually 1 shield battery and 1 pylon. Okay, there's the second shield battery completing the wall in. And he's going to try and hold the top side of this ramp. Now, that pylon is the only one powering the gateway and the Stargate for now. And with the evasion from the Adept, because the ramp is so wide, Classic can't actually fight back, but the Void Ray finishes. And look at that damage done on the Stalkers.
Yeah, and it's funny because the Stalker damage that was dealt early on has kind of added into this mix. I thought that Stalker was going to get killed for a second. And I think this rush might be over. Look at this. There's like Marine Stutter Step Micro here for the Void Ray. The Immortal's now just going to be sent this way across the map. And he does save it. Nicely done. But, you know, the question is, did that buy enough time? There's a second Void Ray coming out here as well. There are backup pylons that have been made. Kind of a crazy moment. It looked like it was so close to that one pylon getting shot down and possibly completely shutting, you know, any defenses down over in that area.
Yeah, but Classic's control was so good, and he's bought so much time. I even like him with that Void Ray in the middle. He took some HP damage, but he traded it off to get 1 more hit on the Stalker with very low HP of Zhao, and that caused the shields to only just now finish regenerating. That slows down the push a little bit more. And now we're going to try and do some micro here for Zhao. These buildings on the very front, besides the Stargate, they don't matter all that much. Force fields are going to drop. That will force Zhao to pull back again with a Warp Prism. And although there's no consequential trade as a result of that, it is buying Classic more time. And once we get 3 Void Rays out tasteless, we're getting pretty close to critical mass here on defense.
Yeah, there's a lot of Stalkers up here, but the Void Rays and the the force fields, everything else are making it a lot tougher to get in here. And again, if it's a 1 base versus a 2 base in a game like this, Zhao's going to be obsolete very quickly, so he has to figure something out. There's no obvious weak point here at the entrance. Classic has to be careful not to overextend. We saw those Void Rays and Stalkers maybe move out a little bit too far here. The Immortal hasn't really been able to properly engage onto any Stalker.
Yeah, Classic has to be very careful. The Stalker count is getting higher and higher, and eventually it will reach a critical mass where it's able to one-shot these Void Rays if every Stalker is able to get into range. And that's a situation where you do not want to be too far forward. You want to be within the safety of all these shield batteries. There's another engagement really kicking off here. These shield batteries getting put to work. Stalker's getting focus fire down, man. One of them, two actually falling right there on the front lines. I don't know if Zhao's going to be able to come back from this. Classic thus far has lost one Stalker and one pylon and nothing else.
Yeah, Zhao has no direction to go other than just the same one he's already in. He has to just keep trying to bust this open. Another Void Ray comes out. I mean, at this point in time, you kind of take anything you can get here. Nice targeting, takes one of the Void Rays out immediately. The core does go down, but was that enough damage, or maybe even an overextension here? These Stalkers are looking very weak. It is somewhat easy to juggle these Stalkers here with the Warp Prism.
Yeah, but we're at the threshold where the power of the Void Ray is just too much. The Warp Prism goes down, the Stalkers fall, and Classic with a textbook defense, some really nice micro, is going to win game number 2. And this best of 7 is off to a really good start for Classic. Those are 2 fast and clean wins.
Man, brutal games. It was interesting how close it was at the start. That Void Ray saved the day, softened up the Stalkers. I think had that Void Ray not gotten out in time, maybe we would be in a Zhao win. We would be tied up 1-1. But, you know, what are you going to do? Classic's great at holding. Zhao, this is rough. This is a best of 7, by the way. So right now, Classic is halfway to winning the series. And this is our only series today. This could be an extremely short day. Hopefully it's not.
Yeah, I think Zhao has a lot more fight in him, but the map draft right now, I have to give the advantage to Classic. The fact that we have all these high ground natural expansion maps early, and then the first 2 games, Classic looking a lot more strong in that variant of PvP. It's a little concerning here for Zhao, and I'm hoping that next game he's able to, you know, iron out some of this high ground expansion issue and go tit for tat with Classic. Otherwise, he's going to need a reverse sweep on the low ground maps, which might favor him a little bit more. I think he's a more aggressive player in PvP. But you don't want to go down 0-3 versus the best Protoss player in the world in the best of 7, dude. That is not an easy reverse sweep by any means.
Guys, consider signing up for the Patreon. This has been a blast to put on. It's been so rewarding. We really appreciate the support. When you sign up, this goes to the prize pool, it goes to the production and the staff here, and it goes to rent out this big venue that we're looking at right now at the end of the year here in Seoul. We're going to have our first offline event. In other words, the players will be there, the casters, you can be there as well. So if you don't have any money, we totally get it. Just consider join. I think it's like you follow it or join the account. There's a way to join it. You can still get updates from us and everything else like that. But yeah, we love StarCraft 2. We don't want to let this game die out, and we want to keep it in the kind of professional, nice, high quality kind of production and streamlined tournaments that we know and love. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to continue on with this best of 7 to find out who goes to the grand finals of the RSL.
my God, he's hiding and waiting in there? He waits in the room? Oh my God.
Hello, everybody. We're back, and we're ready to continue on here with this best of 7. Right now, Classic is absolutely crushing here versus Zhao.
Yeah, game number 1 with the Oracle, just getting a little bit too much damage for Zhao to handle. And then game number 2, the defense looks rock solid. If I'm Zhao in this situation, I don't know what to do here for map number 3. I'm pretty sure that it's another high ground natural expansion map, and Classic seems like his Stargate play with a high ground expand is so rock solid.
Yeah, you know, both games we had a critical error here from Zhao, but yeah, Classic doesn't seem to fall off the horse at all in PvP. And I mean, we'll see what Zhao tries to do. At this point in time, Classic's not even really doing any kind of remarkable strategy. We're not even really getting into late game PvP so far. It's just he's playing clean games. Zhao is messing up either in defense with losing workers to oracles, or not having a clean enough push to where he can execute the all-in. And so it's going to be kill switch here for map number 3.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Kill switch, it might favor Zhao a little bit more than Ultra Love and Botanical, which are very macro focused, especially there with the early base setup, because the rush distance, it's not very far here on kill switch, especially the 3rd and 4th to the 3rd and 4th of your opponent. It's cross map. There's a couple zones that slow you down, but Protoss Warping, you don't really mind that too much.
No problems there.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for you to be aggressive. So we'll see if Zhao is going to switch it up. We'll see if he goes for another fast expansion like he did in game number 1. If he tries to break down what I assume will be another fast expand play here from Classic in game number 2, or just what the game plan is going to be, because I feel like it's a tough situation to handle strategically here as Zhao in terms of how you execute your build order, right? Like, you got to make the right choice here, and I'm not sure that leaning heavily in either direction is the right one. It's tricky when you play against somebody like Classic, who is just so rock solid in the early game, and it does seem like Zhao is going to default back into the high ground expand.
Okay, so this time around, pylons and expansions on both sides. We got Mapu just showing us the gold minerals over here. And, yeah, I mean, let's see what kind of game we got. Fingers crossed here for Zhao. I do hope we get a closer series here. We've got the probes grazing by each other. And we'll wait for the cybernetic score to come down and basically get an idea of what kind of game this is going to be. If Classic wins this and goes up to 3-0, it's going to be really tough for Zhao to 4-0 from there. I mean, that's just really, really hard to imagine.
Yeah, if we get a Classic 3-0 lead after this game, if I'm Zhao, I'm going to want to take a beat and reset and just try and come up with a plan for the next 4 maps, We've had some series here in the RSL recently where, game 1 and game number 2, they look very different to the following games after we have a break, or something like that, when players get some time to reevaluate. And by the way, look at this. A little bit of a win there for Zhao. Classic was not able to successfully block the Nexus getting thrown down at Zhao's expansion. So Zhao was able to do Nexus into core, which is... It's greedy, but as we saw from Classic in game number 1, or game number 2, it's hard to punish.
It's greedy, but I don't know that it's that risky.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well said.
And so this is one stride in a great direction here for Zhao. Looking really good. We've got Classic coming back up here, and it looks like he's going to... we're still waiting for that Nexus to actually start from him.
Yeah, Classic actually threw down... Oh, we're going to have a shield battery rush!
I don't know why. I didn't see that was actually his pylon. I thought, God, why are there 2 pylons here?
Yeah, I thought at first this might just be to block the wall in, try and get some depths into the main base, but no, he's going to try and get something done with a shield battery. That Zealot in slow motion, moving across the center of the map, getting closer and closer to Zhao's base. That's a lot of batteries on both sides.
Okay, so the Zealot's going to come in. Now it has so much room to tank here.
Oh, Zhao just completely locked in the wall. Classic, he's working on it right now with the Zealot. I think the Zealot's just barely damaging the shield battery.
The Adept can actually, I think, shut this down before it finishes. He just has to make sure that he...
He got to restart it! Oh, that's so good. I almost wish it was... Where's this probe? How is this
I can't even see
it's
this.
the one right by the Stalker there on the logo.
It's
I
behind
completely
the
missed it. I wouldn't even mind Zhao throwing down a pylon. I think the HP gain on the pylon's a little bit faster than the shield battery because it completes faster. But in any case, Zhao is just locking this down. Classic, he is expanding behind this. The Nexus just started for Classic, and his Stargate is done. So Classic likely going to be going into the Oracle here. Probe's getting pulled for Zhao as he's trying to make sure he loses as few workers as possible. Only 2.
And, I mean, where are we at exactly? Classic is ahead by a little bit. Obviously, this is a big amount of money to spend on all those batteries and the pylon, and they're inevitably going to be killed off. The funny thing is, I guess you can just have an Adept stay alive for this long with this many shield batteries to kind of milk the energy from. It's going to be finally killed off.
It's pretty insane that he actually got 4 probes there with the Adepts with how many shield batteries in their natural expansion.
So we have actually Classic ahead in workers.
And his Nexus is going to finish too, so he will maintain that lead.
That's insane to me. The way this game started, and then the fact that he's ahead right now.
What on earth?
And he's going to get more workers. Now the batteries make it much harder to kind of force damage out. Oh!
Classic shield battery sealed up the Oracle a little bit too to allow him to get one more probe.
Yeah.
8 workers have still fallen. I'm kind of in disbelief at this situation. You know, Zhao, it seemed like the defense was pretty solid early, but the Adepts got so much done, and then the Oracle follow-up. We somehow still have a 6-worker lead, 5-worker lead here for Classic over Zhao, despite the Nexus being what feels like a minute later.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. So, you know, from here, it's still going to be an uphill fight for Zhao. Classic's going to try to dive in once more. There are Stalkers here. I don't know what the Oracle Void Ray pair does exactly. Yeah, I guess he just wanted to see, like, are you just neglecting this? Can I come in here and punish this? Blink is coming. It is going to be earlier here for Zhao, but I think the bigger story is just that Classic's, you know, other than the Blink upgrade, basically ahead overall.
Yeah, Zhao is going to try and close that gap a little bit here with a very fast 3rd Nexus. He's throwing that down on site. Classic is spotting this immediately. Might actually be able to force a cancel here with this Void Ray. Feels like I'm watching a PvZ right now. This Void Ray roaming across the map, trying to cancel an expansion.
And, you know, it's still just Classic getting these jabs in everywhere.
The Nexus did survive there at the 3rd base, although it took a little bit of hull damage.
I think that Classic might just be able to attack here. He might just have like 4 or 5 more Stalkers. You keep in mind, this Nexus, it's going to be, when it finishes, if it does, pretty low on HP. So they might not have any shields. The hull of it might be damaged. And, you know, with the... I mean, it's been like about a 6 or 7 worker lead for most of the game. That might just lead to a couple more Stalkers to a straight-up win. Excuse me, a win taking out the 3rd base, and then it's like Classic just maintains the lead. It could be a very straightforward PvP, even though it was really chaotic when it started.
Yeah, right now it's only a 1-Stalker advantage here for Classic, but keep in mind he has that Oracle, he has the Void Array, he also has a Sentry here on the front line. That income advantage just huge here for Classic for the vast majority of the game. It's been like...
yeah, there's been a couple moments the ticker's gone down in the blue for like, you know, maybe a half a minute or something. Probably less than that even. So, here comes the push, and I love this, dude. Makes 2 hallucinated Stalkers.
And Zhao also has to split his units. He has Stalkers, I think, in the main base and potentially even natural expansion because of that Oracle on the map. So his full force is in here on the front. That's going to open the window for Classic to get more damage done. Looking at the minimap, we can see Classic moving into the main base. His Oracle does get sniped by Zhao, so Zhao will finally be able to pull those Stalkers back into the forefront.
Seems like Classic wasn't able to actually come through and take the Nexus out. I guess I misread that. I thought he might have enough. The Templar Archives has started. We have 5 more gateways coming down here compared to the 3 here of Zhao.
I feel like if Classic just completely committed to trying to take down that 3rd base, he could have done it. If he wanted to play an all-in style, but
well,
it's a game of limited information, right? Why would you take that risk here as Classic?
I guess also you see probes above the Nexus. You're like, well, I can definitely kill that, you know. I guess it's a game of, you know, making sure you win and not win more. You know, killing a couple probes at the top and a couple Stalkers is still a win, not a win more move. Not a, you know, I'm going to throw everything I've got into a game where now I'm at a disadvantage. This Phoenix is going to see, Hallucinated Phoenix is going to see all these gateways finishing. And this is where we're going to see a big pump in units. Both sides are taking their 4th bases, albeit in different positions.
Yeah, and Classic is powering up a little bit faster with these gateways and with the 4th base coming in. His upgrade's just a touch ahead. Charge is going to finish now. It doesn't seem like he's going to get aggressive. In fact, he's just now starting the big Zealot warp in, so he won't really be able to capitalize on that specific advantage, but it's still looking like a very good position right now for Classic. John, he has been able to close the distance in terms of workers. He's actually passed Classic as Classic is cut at 61 since he's not saturating the gases at the natural or the 3rd base. It's only 3 gas build here for Classic, whereas Zhao's gone up to 4, so he will have more Archons.
Did he trap a couple Stalkers up there?
Oh, he might
warp him. It's kind of funny.
Oh, no, excuse me. Classic also did add that 4th gas there at the 3rd base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Zealot Archon's going to be big now. Classic gets one more Immortal out here. And, you know, it's funny. PvP, a lot of times, it's a lot of Stalkers for a while, but eventually you got to get the charge lots. You've got to get the Archons there. And so we're seeing that accumulation happen. Classic has a Warp Prism quietly moving to the bottom of the map. And this is probably to do a positional play, or even a counter play, I guess, if Zhao decides to move out. But just having a huge wave of Zealots come through here would be huge.
Yeah, and Zhao looks like he might be getting aggressive over here. Stalkers are going to be poking and prodding by this 3rd base, in just a moment. Let's see what they can see. I don't believe we have a Warp Prism here for Zhao, so reinforcements will be hard to come by here on the front lines. But again, the rush distance, we're like 2 screens away from Zhao's natural expansion. It's quite close. Engagement coming in. These force fields will isolate a couple of Zealots. Classic is now going for the drop in the main base here of Zhao.
Yeah, this is going to be something that I guess isn't going to do too much, you know, with the way that the warp-ins are going. In fact, I don't even think a single probe has been killed here. Meanwhile, an attack in. The angle looking pretty healthy here for Zhao. Classic actually bled off a lot of Zealots with this warp-in. That's only just now starting to get a small number of probe kills.
Yeah, I think Classic really wanted to break open this position by going for these warp-ins in the main base of Zhao, but it has backfired a little bit. He wasn't able to breach this 4th base. The high ground expansion here on Kill Switch, especially with indestructible debris, makes it very difficult to move up that ramp. And Zhao's now equalizing on work. Like the workers have equalized. The 4th base is going to be saturated here in a moment. He's faster on the 5th Nexus. The upgrades are equivalent. His position has improved considerably since this early game. I feel like that was a little bit of a misplay there for Classic committing to that Warp Prism in the main base.
We got a lot of Zealots headed up here. I think they're going to be hitting this top base. And Classic is going to shave off these workers down here, and suddenly the position that was very hard for for Zhao to get down into is being exploited.
There's so many Zealots, Tasteless.
Yeah, and there's nothing to defend here, and the supplies are so high, you literally can't warp in enough Zealots to fight that. And now Classic's army might be so fractured that there's really not anything that he can do. I mean, he loses that base at the top. He's going to lose his fight in the bottom. Did Zhao just take this game?
I think he might have, and I wonder actually if there was a recall to the wrong expansion there, because Classic recalled, I think, to the natural expansion or to the 3rd base. He didn't recall to the base that was under fire, so he couldn't even kill the Zealots as a consolation prize, and now Zhao is the one getting aggressive here, pushing up the ramp. The charge Zealot numbers are overwhelming. He has Archon superiority as well. That Void Ray, it's doing what it can, but I feel like Zhao has just completely toppled Classic. What a turn of events.
Yeah, this is looking really good here for Zhao. He's going to keep pressing forward. He's got to be careful not to overextend. This one Archon over here in the front, very low. It is taken out, but more Zealots are going to come through, and if you've got enough Zealots in the front with the Archons in the back, that's usually enough damage. There is a hallucinated Archon, so it's not doing any damage, and it doesn't seem to be deterring Zhao as he tries to push even further forward here. And right now, this is the only fresh functional base here for Classic, so I think he's likely to lose all these workers and probably lose this game. GG.
Man, what a comeback there from Zhao. That is really promising for his chances in the rest of the series, because that early game, despite how funky it was with the probe and the battery harassment coming in from Classic, Classic still somehow came up on top. You know, his Nexus was later, but he had more workers. It doesn't really matter that much. He got kills with the Adepts, he got kills with the Oracles, and everything looked like it was favoring Classic up until a couple pivotal moments in the mid-game where Classic perhaps overcommitted to the drop into the main base, tried breaking up the ramp, but also wasn't able to make progress over there. And then Zhao with that clutch Zealot run by That's really promising because we're going to be moving now into maps in this best of 7 without high ground expansions, which seems like Classic has the better grip on in the early game. The early game on Ultra, Botanical, Kill Switch, every single one favored Classic. And once we move to these low ground maps, I think that Zhao is going to have a little bit more parity.
It's kind of a funny layout of maps, just to have those 3 maps that are all so similar right at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to go to Tokamak for map number 4 here. Zhao really probably very relieved to have actually taken a game. And Classic kind of misplayed that. By the way, that was pretty high risk to do the proxy pylon and all the batteries down there. It made for a fun game. I don't know if that was also, how do I say this, like a level of disrespect from Classic.
Maybe.
You know, I think we've all had it where we've beaten somebody a couple times and you go, well, maybe I'm going to have a little bit too much fun in our next game. But it did make it a kind of tough spot. But, you know, Classic kind of came out ahead anyways, right? That's a lot of money you spend on batteries. But he ended up getting probe kills. At the very end, the Adept and Oracle actually killed off enough probes that Classic did have a lead. So, you know, kudos to Zhao. He actually managed to recover with just better movement, better late game control, better decision-making, and a great counterattack with those Zealots.
Yeah, and it's sometimes very difficult to find your footing after you have an early game like that when there is Zhao, because he knows that Classic should not have gotten that much damage done. Right. And he knows that his position is a little bit tricky, and to reset and go back into getting the 3rd base, into the 4th base, and develop normally again after that, it can feel really, really funky, but Zhao just played it so well. So, Zhao, he's finally on the board now. This best of 7 is 2 games in favor of Classic. Zhao fighting back to win map number 3. I think we're going to have a little bit more aggressive PvPs here as we move forward.
Yeah, should be a very different tempo, very different feel.
It's still possible that either player decides to go for a 1-gate expand or just a really fast expansion in general on the low ground, but I feel like the aggressive potential in terms of Stalker Micro with Warp Prism versus Void Rays is so much bigger on maps like these where there isn't a ramp for the defender to take advantage from.
Okay, we are going to wait. It's a PvP, guys. We got to see this core go down here. Double gate right now for Zhao. Single gate here for Classic. And Classic is eyeing the bottom here. I guess he's just going to check for any proxies.
He's going to build a Nexus.
Yep.
That's pretty greedy, man.
We kind of thought this wasn't going to happen here, but once again, Classic define, I guess, what may be tempting on some maps you do on others now.
Yeah, it certainly still is a viable strategy. Otherwise,
Sure.
A player like Classic wouldn't be doing it. But there's a certain buffer zone of like, who's this going to favor, the defender or the aggressor? And I would say that on the high ground natural expansion maps, it's definitely easier to defend with the Void Rays. Where, in my opinion, on these low ground maps, especially ones with the wider natural expansions, kind of like Tokamak, there's a lot more aggressive potential for a player like Zhao. And he's actually going to go for a proxy Stargate, so this will not be a Warp Prism Stalker play.
Yeah, very different.
Huh.
And we got to see if it's going to get scouted. Oh, it looks like it is. Kind of in a painful moment here. I mean, this is oh my God. You know, the shift clicks can be deceptive. Sometimes you see them shift click on the map, but, you know, if they have time, their APM's good enough, they'll end up resetting it. Okay, he sees it anyways. And by the way, Classic sees it. Zhao doesn't. So Zhao doesn't know he's been spotted. This really tilts the game in the favor here of Classic, because Zhao, believing he has the element of surprise here when he in fact doesn't. This is big.
Yeah, it's a very big moment here. And Classic is going to confirm that it's an Oracle.
Yeah.
You know, naturally, when you go for this fast expansion here as Classic, you're going to want to follow up with the Stargate, so he hasn't really changed his game plan that much just yet, but I wonder if that first unit out of the Stargate is going to be a Phoenix. And we might normalize. Zhao, he's trying to re-expand behind this.
Oh.
He threw that in the actual expansion just a moment ago. He's adding in a Twilight Council, so this isn't going to be some insane commitment coming out of Zhao. How much is he going to get done with this Oracle is my main question.
Okay, here comes that first Oracle. The shield battery makes it a lot harder.
Oh, that was so cool!
What's up?
Oh, that was so cool! I didn't even know you can mineral walk like that. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. That was nasty.
That was awesome.
Just got in there. And citizen's arrest on the stun there from the Oracle, getting basically no value.
Yeah, I wonder which mineral patch you clicked to do that. That was so cool.
Yeah.
When that replay pack gets released to the Patreon supporters, dude, I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna load this one up like immediately.
Yeah.
I gotta rewind and see what mineral patch you clicked. I didn't know that you could route them through there. Usually when you mineral walk, it's like to your opponent's base or something. It's hard to actually mineral walk through.
Yeah.
A patch.
It must be some kind of patch he has, or maybe 2 different patches he uses in his own base.
Yeah, that was so cool.
So the pylon's a little bit bruised right now, but Classic's going to go back. He's not going to overextend. Now, Blink is coming first here for Zhao.
I still can't get over how awesome that move was there for Classic.
It was great.
I wonder if that caught Zhao by surprise as well, because, the mineral layout isn't the exact same on every single map. So there are certainly some maps where you can do that and some maps where you cannot do that. And personally, I haven't seen it before. And also, it depends on where the shield battery, or not the shield battery, excuse me, the stasis trap's going down. Like, I don't know if Zhao could actually mineral walk if he wanted to try and shut that one down with probes. The one that Classic just threw in his main base. What a cool moment.
So, Zhao having a rough start here. Doesn't mean he can't win later on, but a lot's gone wrong. The blink timing is far away enough. Maybe you could do something, but the travel distance as well between the Stalkers. It's going to be one of these games where basically they're going to have blink at about the same time as far as when they engage each other.
Zhao's asking Classic if he's map hacking. They're both laughing a little bit about it. Yeah, Classic, his scouting has been so on point so far this game. He scouted the proxy Stargate, his presence on the map and map awareness has just been so on point. And he's going for a really fast third base. Zan, we're going to see if he goes for the exact same thing, if he's going to try and take a third base of his own, or if he's just going to really commit heavily to this Blink Stalker attack.
Okay, Stalker's going to be coming up. He's tagged him. There is a stun.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and...
Dude, what a
gets the Oracle.
Classic, just every single
That's
tactical moment went in his favor, and that is going to be game number 4 wrapped. We never even got like the big explosive fight. It felt like there were so many little tiny interactions, which didn't seem that consequential, but Classic he just won every single one in a significant way. Like that was so cool.
All right.
Man, that was like a judo flip. That was just insane.
Yeah.
Whew.
That was like in what is it, Kill Bill, like where they punch him 5 times in the chest and it just shuts him off. That was basically what happened back there.
My goodness, Classic. Well, that's going to be a 3-1 lead in this best of 7, so it is now match point. Zhao's probably going to have to take a moment and reset for these next 3 maps because he has to win 3 in a row if he wants to make it to the grand finals from that upper bracket with the advantage. Otherwise, he is going to fall to the lower bracket. He won't be out of the RSL, but he will have to face the winner of Kura versus Raynor to have the privilege to get a rematch versus Classic should he lose.
That's right. We need you guys to join us on YouTube. We stream on Twitch. We stream on YouTube as well, but our VODs are all stored spoiler-free on YouTube. So if you're unable to join us on the live stream, we get it, man. Everybody's a little bit older who's a StarCraft 2 fan. You got kids, you got a job, you got other obligations. Please consider subscribing and helping us grow this thing. The more it grows, the better it is for the show overall. YouTube's just so big now, and there's so many tournaments happening everywhere. We're trying to kind of get this out there. This is a very new tournament we're doing. We've been loving doing it. And if you wanted to help us in a way that's free and easy, just open up that second tab and subscribe to the YouTube.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, the best of 7 between Classic and Zhao is going to continue here in the winners finals of RSL.
inside. Go inside. No! 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 Ah! Oh! Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, God! Ah! Oh, my God. Oh! Oh!
What's up, everybody? We're going to go into Game 5. See, I still got it, Stade. Like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, Sesame Street.
That was a
here.
close one. And right now, we need to see Zhao win. Otherwise, it's going to all be over. Classic is looking really scary. Zhao had one great long PvP, but a lot of PvP is decided in the early game. This is, I believe, still statistically the shortest matchup.
Oh, if the statistics say that it isn't, the statistics are wrong.
They're wrong.
PvP
They're wrong
is
like
so
Reddit.
PvP is such a fast matchup. I feel like it's a little bit less coin flippy than it used to be. Actually, no, I take that back. It's way less coin flippy than it used to be, but it's a very, very momentum-based matchup.
I mean, there's just a lot of interactions you can have here. And, you know, Protoss always has had a lot of cheeses. We're going to go to Maganatha here. Zhao seemingly becoming larger every time we get him on camera. He's growing. He's growing.
If he gets big enough, maybe we'll finally be able to take down Classic.
Classic stayed the same size, but if we get to Game 7, he will be an Attack on Titan size giant.
That'll be tough for Classic to take him down then.
Yeah, that's well, we'll see if he gets the comeback. He's got to win on Maganatha here. If he does not, Classic is going to win this 4-1 and go on to the grand finals of the RSL Season 2.
All right, Maganatha here for map number 5. Classic, the red Protoss. Spawning in the top left, Zhao, the blue Protoss, in the bottom right. Are we going to have the same story as 3 of the other maps earlier on in this series, where Classic goes for the 1-gate expand, Zhao tries to stop him and
just
fails.
Like Gemini SC2, his favorite story is to watch the Star Wars movies over and over, and he hasn't seen other movies. This is my favorite PvP. I just keep watching. Fast expand. No, I guess we're not going to have it this time, actually. It's 1 gate.
Yeah, we might still have it.
Maybe 2 gate.
We'll have to see. But Classic, his defense at the early game has honestly been so solid, and part of it also comes down to just his scouting has been incredibly on point. Like, Zhao was joking in the last map. He's like, are you hacking, bro? Because he would just find everything. He finds the proxy stargates. He catches the army movements. Even the stasis wards are just placed in the perfect place to intercept Zhao's army movement. Classic is just firing on all cylinders right now. He looks so scary in the early game PvPs.
Okay, so both sides going for 2 gates. Zhao's probe going to be getting in here a little bit sooner.
Yeah, he wants to make certain that Classic isn't going for the 1-gate expand before core. That greedy build has not yet been successfully punished here by Zhao. And actually, Classic with his probe, he's moving all the way down to the bottom left side. We might be having a proxy this game, Tasteless.
Well, we've had plenty of those.
I wonder if this is Classic's turn to get aggro.
Yeah, you know, the further away it is, I guess that is still closer, right? But it's not like it's a pylon in the middle of the map, right? I mean,
he's moving the probe away. I think he just wants Zhao to think that he's going to do something cheesy.
This is like an old trick, but it's pretty good even to this day. And I feel like it's actually very underutilized. Is you just hide a pylon and don't do anything with it.
I do this in a lot of my PvPs. I'm a trickster.
I actually used to do this a lot more, and I stopped. But I think it's like always worth incorporating again, because a good player will react to that.
Especially when it's match point in a best of 7.
Yeah.
Zhao has no room for error anymore in
he
this
can't be
entire
like,
series.
no, you're not. You're not going to use this pylon. I mean, it's almost like you can then force them to over-defend, and then you can just play a boring game and probably get ahead.
Even the scout timing coming in from Classic is very suspicious. He waited until it was especially delayed there, so... For Zhao, how haphazardly the Classic threw that probe into the main base, just not caring if he loses it at all, playing this very, very deceitfully. And as a result, Zhao, he's just scouting everywhere on the map right now. Zhao in the past has been one of these guys that will energy recharge a sentry just to hallucinate probes, And he's actually not even going for an expansion. I wonder if we're going to have some kind of Warp Prism Stalker play from Zhao, or if he's just trying to blind counter what might potentially be the aggression of Classic. And do we have a building get canceled there? I actually missed what it was. He's building a Nexus now. I wonder if he was considering adding another gateway.
Yeah, 3 sentries are going to have a hard time fighting the Stalkers, but with the battery, I don't think he can really do that much. 4 could change that, though.
2 force fields available here for Classic. There is a shield battery as well, and man, the sentries do a lot of damage to shields.
Warp Prism started here for Zhao. It looks like he might want to try to push his advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, his expansion is so delayed. Classic's just finished up, and Zhao's is only now 50% complete. That I think for Zhao here, you just try to utilize that Robotech, get the Warp Prism out, maybe drop either Adepts or do some kind of Stalker drop and just get any probe damage you can.
Oh, is he looking? Oh, okay.
Dude, if he reacted,
was so close.
Oh no, the turn! He has to turn to get down the
ramp.
ramp.
Stalker's cone head roll down the ramp.
It's bad for Zhao, but it honestly could have been worse. If he reacted just a moment later, those sentries could have force fielded and caught everything.
Okay, so Blink started, Immortal started here too. Zhao getting that Immortal tech up.
No Twilight Council yet for Zhao.
Yeah, where is it? Is he not going to get that?
It's an interesting setup.
I feel like you actually just have to get that.
I would be surprised if he just decided to throw down additional gateways here and push with a Robo. Okay, finally now the Twilight Council is coming in.
So I don't think he wants to do anything for a while. I think he basically just wants to defend. I guess if you have an Immortal, you can probably make this work. The Warp Prism was chased out here by Classic Stalkers.
I think one thing that will be important to note is whether there's a second Immortal immediately queued up after that first one, because one Immortal signals to me that this is probably going to be a safety play, but if we have additional Immortals come in from Zhao, we might be moving down the path where with this late Twilight Council, Zhao will be trying to get something like a Glaive Adept Immortal timing done. He's also warped in a few sentries as well, but the third gas coming in, is that going to be the direction we go? No, in fact, it will be Blink. But Classic is just a tempo ahead in terms of expansion, in terms of tech. I mean, Blink is already done. He's starting charge right now.
So, I mean, I think we're going to have a little bit of downtime here. Both sides developing. Let's remember that Zhao actually played a really good game when he got to late game. You know, he actually really outshined Classic there. And this doesn't seem to be a game that could end no matter how, you know, you cut it, unless you were to try to attack in too early.
More gateways, more Immortals coming in here for Zhao. As Classic's getting a little bit aggressive on the map. Charge is only halfway done, but Blink is completed. And actually, Classic immediately throwing down 5 more gateways. So he's going to be using the mineral income from his third base. Actually, whoa, look at that. Blink forward right there by Classic. A bold move immediately snipes the Warp Prism, limiting the micro potential from Zhao, then focusing down the sentries. Now going for the Immortal. I do believe he's going to get it. In fact, one more Stalker for his trouble. You know, in terms of cost, in terms of unit value, I think that was probably a relatively even trade, but Classic got some very critical units of Zhao.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just about the value. It's the fact that, like, okay, that was 2 Robo units that were killed off here. We're on the advent of 5 gates about to finish. The Warp Prism with charge is going to be done. So the Warp Prism's, you know, nearly finished. That's going to be jettisoned across the map, and I think Classic might try to overpower him here.
I think you're absolutely right. Classic, he has the third base done, but he's cut probes at 45.
But Zhao's moving out now.
Yeah, they both have very similar ideas. Zhao has cut probes at 44, Classic has cut probes at 45. They have both expanded, but they're not really gearing up for a longer game. In fact, both players, their armies are moving cross-map right now,
this
Tasteless.
Is so weird, because, like, one of them's going to be wrong here, right? This can't possibly go well for both of them. It's going to be basically a base trade unless one opts into recall. Zhao's going to hit, I think, a second before Classic does. The Classic's got charge, and his Stalkers are going to be really fast. Could we get a force field on the ramp? I guess it wouldn't matter if you have a Warp Prism of your own. It's 20 Stalkers here for Zhao as well. He's going to shut down infrastructure. Oh my god.
Oh no, the pylon. All right, Probe's getting recalled now to the third base of Classic. He does have a lot of minerals. Okay, he's going to actually throw down shield batteries. Does he have enough time to get home and defend?
He's going to kill all the probes, I think. No, this can't work. Hold on a second. This is so weird.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get back in time. I think Zhao is going to be able to take this third base.
Well,
those shield batteries, they have to get canceled.
Let's not forget there's one hidden pylon earlier on in this game. It always does come down to who destroyed each other's buildings. It's 5 probes for Zhao. Make that 3. And they're just now going to make a Nexus at 12 o'clock. On the other hand, sorry, there's 34 probes here for Classic. And Classic has the resources to make a Nexus, so I think all you have to do is go to the natural or the main of Zhao's starting location, make a Nexus, or you... What?
Why you go for the gold here, Classic?
Okay, never mind.
That is a bold choice. It makes sense because at this point the main base is already half mined out or very close to being half mined out for Zhao. But taking the gold, it's concerning. Zhao does have more stalkers than Classic, and with the open area surrounding the gold base, I wonder whose army wins in a head-on engagement. I feel like it must be Zhao's with the Immortals, with the extra stalkers, but hey, 7 sentries here for Classic. Maybe he can make something happen with Hallucination. He was able to scout the expansion at 12 o'clock. 2 of the 3 probes that Zhao has are right here.
I think this is it. Because he's got 1 pylon hidden here. The probes are going to roam here with this. By the way, Classic doesn't have the money to make another pylon. He has probes to mine, obviously, but, you know, let's say that the well, actually, never mind. Classic just has a sitting infrastructure here in his main. Okay, it's a lot of stalkers, but the force fields for Classic can cut this up into a favorable exchange.
To the probes getting mixed in with the armies right now is so cool. They actually absorb a lot of damage from the stalkers, from the Immortals. Force fields isolating this Immortal. He finally gets lifted back there at the last moment on 1 HP. That Warp Prism able to save the day, but Zhao's trying to flex the muscles right now with the range superiority. These stalkers getting a lot of damage done.
Dude, actually, is Classic going to lose this? He doesn't quite have that much.
Yeah, the Immortal and the greater stalker count here for Zhao are really pulling their weight.
Now remember, no, Zhao wins this.
I think he does. There's just so much more micro potential here.
Oh, wait. But there's one Nexus over here on the right. I guess, well, he can't kill that, can he?
No, there's no way. I mean, Classic, his army, there's very little left. He still has a win condition if he can snipe the bases. Classic lost the majority of his probes. He's down to 7.
So the obs... Okay,
Classic is mining again.
Army supply 30 to 48, but Zhao probably doesn't feel like he can leave.
Zhao spots it.
Okay, he sees it.
Do you go for this as Zhao, though?
Oh my God, he's going to unload here.
Oh. Where are the stalkers of Classic right now? Okay,
right
they're actually they're right here. Okay, so if the Nexus goes down,
hold on. There's one more building at 6. There's an assimilator at 6. It's canceled.
All right, Nexus gets canceled.
Nexus started down here.
If there is no Nexus on the map for Zhao, he will get revealed. Classic, he is scouting as best he can, trying to find where all these buildings are.
Is there a core in this game? There's not, right?
No, but Classic is charged. I think he just wants to make Zealots anyway.
Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, so he's going to leave some Immortals, because he knows basically the Immortals can beat the Stalkers.
The dynamic is very interesting right now. Classic has the gold base, so Zhao is kind of on a timer. But Zhao... he has the better army, but if he loses the Nexus, he can't remake it again. He doesn't have enough money. He will be revealed, and there's only one more structure for Zhao on the map. Classic, he cannot win in a head-on engagement. Zhao, he's attacking the gold base now. He can't take this out, but Classic knows where the last 2 buildings of Zhao are. Okay, there's one more building for Zhao. One more assimilator has been made at the bottom center of the map.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to the buildings.
The thing is, you know, Classic had some time to build up more of an army. Okay, he's going to force this to be canceled, or is he going to be killed? Oh,
this is insane.
All right. He can force field this.
Whoa. In a moment, Zhao is going to be revealed. Classic will know that Zhao only has one more building on the map. It is this assimilator.
There's no way for Classic to build up an economy. There's no way for Zhao to build up an economy.
Classic doesn't know for a fact that Zhao doesn't have enough money to make additional structures. He doesn't know there's only one probe on the map either.
No, Zhao has 0 probes on the map.
Oh, he had lost that probe too.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, Classic, he doesn't have that information, so the calculus of what to do here for Classic is not quite as simple as you might think. Zhao has a couple ways to play this. He has the better army. He knows that Classic doesn't have a mining base. He could just take the draw by defending. There is no way, in my mind, that Classic can break down and kill this assimilator if Zhao stays in position. It's potential that we go into a regame here if Zhao decides to play this defensively. But if he decides to go for the win, it's still within the realm of possibility. But with 8 Stalkers, 4 Zealots, and the 2 Sentries here for Classic, there is a real chance, if Zhao gets overambitious, that Classic will be able to snipe that assimilator. And Classic being up 3-1, he can take that risk.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess there's not a world where you can just, like, kamikaze onto it, right?
Not unless Zhao tries to go for the buildings. Zhao has to split his forces.
All right, well, I'm going to go microwave a bag of popcorn, and I'll come back here when they decide to do something. This is a crazy game. You know, I cast so much StarCraft 2, and you never really get these games. You know it's possible, right?
Mappu the Observer just informing them that...
Mappu dropping the knowledge bombs here right now.
Yeah.
It's blowing my mind. Wait a minute. Hold on. What is Mappu saying?
He's informing the world.
Guys, stop. What is Mappu going to say about this?
I don't know, man. So it's now a TriCast, tasteless.
Oh my God, this is so funny.
I mean, he ain't wrong.
No, it's just...
Oh, Classic picks off 1
Luckily,
Stalker.
we got a mic hooked up at Mappu's computer. Mappu, you take it from here.
All right.
Oh my God.
Classic actually just spent all of his Sentry Energy hallucinating zealots. Is he going to go for it? Tasteless, I think he's going to go for it.
Oh my God, this is going to be maybe the greatest thing of all time.
He's suiciding onto the assimilator. It's on half HP. Classic wins. He is going to the grand finals.
This may be one of the greatest plays of all time.
Even Zhao can't help
but
laugh about it. That's pretty stunning.
Oh my God, we just saw history get made.
I didn't think Classic could actually dive that assimilator and take it down. That was so sick. Zhao perhaps wasn't expecting Classic to go in that moment. Mappu was right. One of them could win.
Mappu was right.
Wow, what a moment. What a game. What a way to end this best of 7.
I completely forgot that you could do that.
Yeah, the hallucination. I guess Classic was just biding his time.
The hallucinated Phoenix is a scout with those?
Whew. Cool game.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, that was a really fun way to end the series.
I need a cigarette is what I need. Oh, my God.
That was fun.
That was insane.
Yeah, very, very cool game.
It's one of the greatest. Literally one of the greatest moments in the game's history just happened there.
Yeah, that was spectacular. What a great finish.
And Mappu's knowledge bomb. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
TriCast tasteless. Wow. What a series, fellas. That is going to be the upper bracket final for you. Classic is now going into the grand finals. Zhao is going to fall into the losers finals. He's not out of the RSL yet. He will have to face the winner of Rainer versus Cure tomorrow. And Classic will be watching with anticipation. One of those 3 gamers is going to be facing him in the grand finals. And Classic, of course, this is a double elimination tournament, man. You have 2 lives. Classic hasn't lost a series yet. He will have a second chance should he lose that first best of 7 in the grand finals too. So that's going to be a nice boon for him heading into the finale of the RSL in just a couple of days.
It took us 15 years to make that happen. All of our lives led up to this moment.
Yeah. They really did.
Think of your whole childhood, everything you've ever experienced in your whole life, it all led up to this moment. All your good times, all your bad times too, it all led up to this moment so it could happen here and you could see it happen.
It's the butterfly effect too, man. One of our viewers, maybe they have one of those bad moments becomes a good moment, one of those good moments becomes a bad moment. Maybe Classic loses that game.
Well, I'll just say this. Imagine you're in the timeline where you didn't see the Classic hallucinated zealot into all-in on the assimilator. You'd be in the wrong timeline.
Yeah, that was one of the most exciting finishes I think I've ever seen in StarCraft 2. What a way to end the series. Folks, we have 2 days left of the RSL. Tomorrow and on Sunday, 7 p.m. KST is when those matches will be kicking off. Make sure you tune in.
I can't believe how good that game was.
You're glowing about this, dude. I love it.
I don't even know what to do. I'm going to climb up a building after this. This is insane. I've got so much energy. It's funny too, because whenever that happens, it's like, well, how do we intervene, or what do we wait for the players to request a draw? And it's like, oh no, Classic's cooking. He's cooking. So we're going to be on tomorrow and the day after. So on this 21st, we will be doing the finals. We do have spoiler-free VOD, so if you can't join us, and you're not going to want to miss that after a game like that. This is Season 2 of the RSL. We are going to be going to Season 3. That's going to be closer to the end of the year. And then when we finish that, we will be doing the RSL offline finals. It's going to be live in Seoul. We're talking to venues around the city, and we're getting closer and closer to ironing that out. It's going to be 15 million Korean won. We will be selling tickets for that. The venues are big, but the tickets tend to sell out. StarCraft 2 finals tickets in Korea sell out actually pretty quickly. We'll have more information when the tickets go on sale. But, yeah. If you're a Patreon supporter, speaking of which, go to Patreon. Oh, you did it? Okay. Higher tier members get automatic tickets. Go to the website, check out, the different Patreons. You're paying to support the prize pool, the production, and the staffing and renting of the live venue here that we're going to have in Seoul. And we want to just keep doing StarCraft 2. This is a great game. We all love StarCraft 2. It's a funny time. The older games out there are really aging like a fine wine. This game truly is a masterpiece, and we want to keep the story going here. But we do need to rely on community support. We hope to earn your support, whatever support you can give. And if you can't give any support, you're not in a position financially to do that, that's fine. You can just join the we need to find the actual word for this. Do we know what the word is?
It's follow, I think,
follow
on
the Patreon. Yeah. It's all every internet site. It's like subscribe to the YouTube, but that's not the same thing as subscribe to the Twitch. Join as free member.
Join as free member.
Yeah, there's a little.
You
go to the website. There's going to be a little portrait with a guy with pockets inside out. Okay, you go join as a free member. You click right there. No, but seriously, do that. And also, we're not done. We're not done telling you what to do here. Okay, there's a lot of direction here. There's a lot of call to action.
It's a homework assignment for you. Yeah.
The corporate types call this the call to action.
The CTA.
Yes.
You want to be especially
cool. Yeah, if you want to really sound like you hate video games. So our call to action is to go to the YouTube, go to youtube.com, and then join the Revive SC2 YouTube page. We really want to grow this thing. The StarCraft 2 YouTube pages are huge. There's a ton of people that consume StarCraft content on there.
Yeah.
And ours is just a tiny, puny little YouTube. But one day we want to grow it into a big Godzilla YouTube.
Yeah, it's brand new. We would sincerely appreciate your support there. If you're watching live already, even just dropping by the YouTube, opening some videos, dropping a like, dropping a comment, it helps work us into the algorithm and just expose us to even more people that are fans of StarCraft 2, because especially in RSL Season 1, unless you were completely plugged in to the news in StarCraft 2, you just didn't know RSL was happening. Even in RSL Season 2, I just constantly encounter people who didn't know or still don't know.
No, it's happening every day. People are tweeting at me.
Yeah.
Or they come by my stream, they're like, what is RSL?
So we're trying to get the word out there. It would really mean a lot to us if you guys could drop by the YouTube and support us.
You know what else means a lot? The support from Archon Studio. They're the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game? What? Coming soon? An official partner of the RSL. Later this year, they're going to be having their StarCraft tabletop miniatures game for sale on their site. I would recommend you go to their site now. When they reached out and contacted us here at the RSL, I wasn't familiar with them. I went and checked out their products. I'm like, oh my God, these are really sick. Yeah. So, thank you again for their support. Thank you, Archon Studio, for your support. I'm all over the place.
You're just too giddy after that game, man. It's fun.
Too giddy.
It was a really exciting match, honestly. I was hoping for a closer series, a longer series, but Jean still had some really good fight in him. The 4-1 match score, I feel like the games were a little bit closer than the score indicated, and what a way to finish.
I mean, you can't ask for a better game than that. Yeah. That is literally... I've never seen that before. That's incredible.
One of the best PvP games I've ever casted, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's like one of these, like, literally 1 in millions games to have that happen. And to have it happen here, it's a sign. It's a sign. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time, same place, probably with a longer day. So we will see you then. Bye-bye.